first thing, and obviously, Forrest, I think it was 13, 15 turnovers, but just the shooting, especially some of those looks that, looked like they were pretty good. Was that frustrating, just not seeing those shots go in?
Well, it's not fun. I mean, I can't say it was fun. We had some good looks. Ball just did not go in the basket. We had several rolled in and out. I mean, we could not buy a bucket there in the fourth quarter, and we had some in the third. It wasn't just in the fourth. I mean, throughout the whole game. I mean, I think when we go back and look, we probably missed at least 10 from 2 to 3 feet. And a lot of them, we had some uncontested layups that we didn't finish. And you can't do that. I mean, playing a team of the caliber of NC State, you got to make them. And unfortunately today, it was bad. And we didn't put the ball in the basket. I thought we defended it. You take out the first 3 minutes where we were awful on defense. And I think it's a 8-0 run or a 9-0 run or 10-0 for them. After that, we actually guarded. I mean, we held them to 63 points. I mean, but we could not put the ball in the basket. We couldn't take advantage. I thought we offensively rebounded. We got 13 offensive boards, and we scored 4 points off of 13 offensive boards. It doesn't matter if you get them if you can't put the ball back in. And that's where we struggled. I thought our effort was good because you aren't getting 13 of them if you're not competing and really going after them. But the problem is we just couldn't finish them once we got them.
Raise your hand, I'll get you a mic.
Jeff, it was kind of that like in the start. You struggled shooting early. They hit shots. They got, they were 70% in the first quarter. But you weathered that.
Yeah.
Did you feel like, you turned that corner? You had, I mean, like you said, you did so many good things to just miss.
I mean, it was 54-48 for what felt like a week. And we just couldn't get a bucket. Had several opportunities, had several good shots, and couldn't score. And then we turned the ball over. It was just, I mean, I'm looking at right here. It's 54-48 at 5:52. It was close to 3 minutes where we held them scoreless, but we couldn't make a basket. And it was, yeah, I mean, it was tough. I mean, because then you're scraping, you're clawing, you're fighting. It's like we needed one to go in and just couldn't get it to go.
I think you missed 16 straight shots, but you're still down 7.
Yeah, we defended. You missed 16 straight shots. You're probably not going to like the outcome of most games. But the difference and the challenge that we have to continue to work on is, starting the game when they go, what was it, 10-2, a 10-2 run. We missed some shots. We turned it over a couple times. In the past, instead of being 10-2, it's 4-2 or 6-2 because we're guarding. And that's where we have to get the mindset. We've got to get a mindset of if we're not scoring, we can't allow you to score. And I thought late in the third and the fourth, we had that. It was like, okay, there was urgency. We can't let them score. We're not making shots. We've got to keep defending until one goes in. But when you miss 16 straight, after a while, they're bound to make one. Now, I would have thought the same about us, which we did. We were 1 for 16. I think we made our last one, which was a layup with about a minute 30 left, which cut it to 7, I think. So, yeah, it sucks. I mean, we had such an unbelievable crowd. I mean, just amazing. And they were busting their tail, cheering and screaming, and the energy in the building was fantastic. And then for us to come out and score and play a fourth quarter offensively like we did. And again, it's not that our effort went there. I thought the effort was there. We just couldn't make a shot. And, I say it, I've said it for years since I've been here. If we're going to lose a game, I want it to be because we couldn't make a shot. Well, I think that finally came to fruition tonight. I mean, because it was ugly.
Jeff, after a loss like that, where you miss so many shots, how do you keep your team encouraged? I mean, do you just really just try to put this behind you, or do you just try to say, okay, we got good looks, let's just try to make them next time?
Well, I'm going to start off with about 3 vodka tonics and see how that shapes things up. Then if that doesn't work, I'll go to a double. And then by the 4th or 5th one, it should be good. It's not one you just put it behind you, because you need to. I told him in the circle, everyone needs to look at this game and say, because NC State does a really good job defensively of playing personnel, of, okay, how did they play me? Where did I have open shots? And then what shots do I have to make? It's what I tell players all the time. A lot of them will get in the gym and work on what they're good at, and that's great. We just get better at what we're good at. But unfortunately, when you play some teams that are going to scout and play personnel, they're not going to let you have that. So now, what aren't you good at? And that's what they're going to make you do, and that's what you have to get better at. So I'm hoping that they'll all watch this game. And we will as a team. I mean, we'll sit there and pull some things out and break some things down, good and bad, because we did some good things. But you've got to be able to look at it and go, okay, where could I have been better? What could I have done better? And in order for us to continue to grow.
You mentioned, I think it was last game, just practice kind of highs and lows. Was there anything in practice?
No, we practice really well. And again, and I told him, it doesn't guarantee you that you're going to win, that you practice well. But it's going to give you a better chance. And that's the hard thing to get players to really understand and embrace is, okay, well, we did. We had 2 really good days of practice. We had a good shoot around this morning, and we didn't win. So is it like, well, coach is stupid? That don't matter. So I'm going to come on Tuesday and give a half-ass effort because it didn't matter on Sunday. Well, it does matter as we continue to progress, because if we keep practicing hard, we're going to get better. And then once we continue to get better, now we're going to win these games. But if you don't practice hard and they're bad practices, sure, you might win some, but you're never going to win good games. So I'm hoping we'll continue to come back on Tuesday and really have a very spirited and good day of practice. And I should have recovered by then.
Jeff, you guys have been a pretty strong offensive team all season. Does that give you any comfort that this was just like really 1 for 16?
Would scoring 51 points in a game give you any comfort?
Yeah. It's a small one game out of however many.
No, it was a big game, though. It was a big game. I mean, am I going to go home and be like, oh my God, what are we going to do offensively? No. We had open shots. We missed shots. I mean, but NC State did a nice job defending us, but the number of layups that we miss that we normally make, and the number of ones that hung on the rim and rolled off were devastating. Casa's one in the second half there, I don't know if it was 3rd or 4th quarter. She made a great hesitation, blows through, and it just like hung on the rim and falls off. Daggers. And it's, again, I don't think anybody's going to say she's not going hard. So it's not for a lack of effort. Sometimes the ball just doesn't go in the basket. And tonight was definitely one of those nights.
I guess defensively, what did you like about what you were able to do with NC State, forcing some of those turnovers? Like Morgan had a big one on an intercepted pass kind of in the corner there at one point.
Yeah, no, I thought we played well after the first 3.5 minutes. After the 10-2 run for them, I thought we did some good things defensively. It's just that you can't have those spurts. When you're playing good teams, you can't have a 3-minute stretch where you don't come out and defend, you're not dialed into the game plan, understanding personnel. Because, when you look back, those are the ones, and sure, it ends up being a 12-point game, but it's really a 6-point game. We fouled there at the end, missed shots, fouled again. I mean, and that's what you just can't do. So we'll sit there and go back and like I said, I'm hoping the players watch this as well. And then we're gonna go back and figure out, okay, what can we do to make sure we're more engaged? You're dialed in and you're ready to play. You know, I told them it's one time out in the first half. You know, they've got a young lady that crosses half court, staring back at the coach, waiting for the play call. And Wheaton's back 4 feet off of her. It's like, hey, she's not even looking at you. Why don't you go try to take the ball from her? Like, those were the things that I'm just like, you have to know that. Like, you got to have that in you. There's got to be an instinct in you of like, hey, she's not even looking at me. Maybe I should go try to take the ball. And those are the parts of the game that I'm trying to get our players to understand. Like, okay, we're down 6, we're down 8 with 1:20 to go. You can't walk the ball across the half court. I mean, it's got to be a sprint. It is a full sprint because you're not really going to run a whole bunch of things when you're down 8 with 1:20. You're trying to attack the basket, either get a layup or hopefully they have to help and then kick. And you got to be shot ready on the pass. And it was like, where's the urgency on that? But that's something we can continue to show them on film, and we'll continue to get better. I mean, again, we're a much better basketball team right now than we were in November, December. We've just got to continue to make this stretch. I mean, we're 6-3 in the league. That's pretty darn good. Now we've got 2 huge road games this coming week that are going to be a challenge. Every game is good in this league. I don't care what anybody's record is. Everybody's good. You know, you look at what Clemson and Notre Dame on Thursday night. It's a 3-point game right down to the wire. Like, you have to come prepared to play, and that's my job as a coach. I've got to make sure that we are ready for this coming week because it's a huge week for us. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. All right, everybody.
A vodka NIL deal.
You're on the enjoy football tonight.